Hello everybody, it is Brittany Chavers and I am back today with Jessie James Beads to show you some wonderful new bead strands, and we're also going to make some jewelry. I'm just going to wait a few moments for people to hop on the live. And as you're coming in, I would love to chat with you if you want to chat with me in the comments. Hello. Hi everybody. We'll get started in a few moments. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. We are going to have some fun today with these wonderful On the Rocks mixes from Jessie James Beads featuring Dakota Stones. Hey Julie. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm going to go through what the On the Rocks strands are, and then we are going to make a bracelet. Hi Helene. Hi everybody. Thanks for joining today. So I have 6 really cool different strands from Jessie James Beads that are featuring Dakota Stones, and I'm going to go through them with you. The first one is Old Fashioned, and it is this wonderful tiger eye mix. So we have 4 different tiger eye shapes and then some gold metal. Hi Maria. Hi Stephanie. So Jessie James Beads said our mixology for this delicious strand starts with a base of Dakota Stones paired with a splash of glass and garnished with custom metal bead spacers and bead caps. So this one, the classic Old Fashioned, contains golden tiger eye gently stirred and strung onto a 5-inch bead strand. So this one I think is one of the ones we'll be working with today, just because I think it looks so nice. But I'm going to quickly take you through the other, I think 5 I have here. This one was a close second for me. I might do something if we have enough time with it. This one is Margarita, and it contains fuchsite and quartz nuggets, green fluorite, green aventurine, and preonite, shaken and strung into a 5-inch bead strand. So I'm loving this one. They're so pretty. Hi Lila. Yeah, these are all so yummy. This one is so cute. And a margarita. I love a margarita. Next we had the Rosé Sangria. Open this up. So Rosé Sangria is rhodonite, strawberry quartz, and strawberry jade stirred and strung. There's some glass and some metal there. Yeah, these are gorgeous. Look at those lava beads. Love that. Look at that one with the little flecks in it. That is the, I want to say the strawberry quartz. That is so cool. Love those. Oh no, that's sunstone. I feel like that's sunstone, but it didn't say sunstone on the tag. Hi Wendy. Hi Lisa. Yeah, really cute concept I think too, Lisa. And then the next one is Blue Hawaiian, and Blue Hawaiian has blue crazy lace agate, citrine nuggets, and blue sardonyx shaken and strung onto a tropical 5-inch bead strand. So look at that blue crazy lace, so pretty. Then we've got silver metal with this one, some citrine, and maybe that's, I think this is howlite. These are gorgeous, so cool. Then we have Bloody Mary, which I think I'm seeing some mookaite on this one. Let's see. This one is matte carnelian, mookaite, fire agate, and rhodonite. Gorgeous. Look at that yellow mookaite there. I love that. Look at that facet on that bead. So cool. It's hard for me to choose. It's so hard for me to choose which ones I want to use today. And then the last one is Pina Colada. Yummy. Thanks Pam. Hi Pam, how are ya? And then this one is Pina Colada, and it contains riverstone, citrine nuggets, and matte crystal quartz. So here's the matte crystal quartz, which just looks so cool. Then we have the Riverstone, and then the Citrine, which is one of my birthstones, which I just love, love, love. Hi, Monica. Thanks for joining us. So I think today I want to do 2 projects, but one of them is going to be very, time consuming, so I don't know if we'll get to both of them. I want to use the Pina Colada today and the old fashioned. And then if we can, I want to try doing something with margarita, but I don't know if the time will allow. So another item that I pulled out was the orange bell pepper mini mix. So I pulled out already a couple of beads from this, anticipating that we might use them, but I'm not really sure. I also have some 22 gauge German style wire and some 22 gauge artistic wire in the twisted style. Now the 22 gauge, I was starting to use this and it's a little bit thinner than I would say that the 22 gauge regular German style wire is, but both are perfect for this if you have either one. So I'm gonna open up my 2 On the Rocks strands, and what we're doing today is some wire wrapping, but we're gonna do some kind of like cages around some of these beads, and it's gonna be very like free form. Some of you may have seen the herringbone style. This is not, and it's gorgeous. I love that herringbone style, but it's not as fussy as that. This is gonna let you do whatever you want. So I just want to, hi Katie, I just want to pull out some beads and kind of make design the bracelet, and then we'll start doing the 2 different styles of wire wrapping that I want to show you. So from this strand, from the Pina Colada strand, I just want the citrine today. We might come back to the other ones, but the citrine was calling me with this to mix with the tiger eye. So I'm going to put these to the side just in case I want to pluck from there. There is some really good gold in there. And then I have a few beads from the orange bell pepper mix. So I'm just going to kind of pour those out right here just as inspiration to see if there's something I want to mix into my bracelet. And then I also pulled out, Kathy says she needs them all. I pulled out a tiara cast hook and eye clasp. So I'm going to open this up and pour it out. Hook and eye clasps and toggles are the ones that I go to for bracelets because they're easy to do one-handed. Hi Alma, good to see you. And then, so today I'm just going to, I know I want to use both of these oval coin beads. I'm just going to lay out a design, and the beads are kind of speaking for themselves. Like, it doesn't have to be a super complicated design all the time, especially when we have such gorgeous beads. So I think I'm going to do 2 citrine together right here. And I definitely want to use this guy. He's so pretty. Let's get that. Oh, I have to choose a middle bead, a focal bead. Let's see. Well, how about we use our square as the focal? I'll put these over here. I want to use these little tiny orange rondelles somewhere in here. And then I have a bunch of different gold beads that I can loop throughout, and we'll see how it goes. Now, from where you can see, the orange is looking like it's sticking out. Hi Becky, quite a bit, but in real life it blends pretty well with this orange. If it starts looking a little too bright once I finish the design, I'm gonna change it out with maybe this square, but I want to show you a technique using these 3 together. And I think I missed somebody. Hi Katana, I hope I said your name right. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a maybe 6 or 7 inch piece of my 22 gauge wire. I have to find my snippers. There they are. And I'm going to show you 2 different styles that are very similar to each other, and then we'll start constructing the bracelet. So the first one I am going to do is going to start, actually both of these are going to start the same way. So we're going to take our round nose pliers and start and make a bend maybe 2.5, 3 inches into our wire, like we're going to do a wire wrapped loop. And we actually are going to do a wire wrapped loop. Okay, so next, instead, we normally would take the long strand and wrap that around the short strand, but I'm not doing that here. So I'm going to hold my loop. I'm actually going to straighten this out. So this is the main wire. And then we're going to wire wrap the longer strand around the shorter strand. Just a couple times, like that. Now I'm going to find a bead. I'm going to go for this cube right here. And I'm going to put him on the shorter strand, just like that. Okay, and I might end up wire wrapping that one more time around just to make it look a little better. So then I am going to take my wire on this end and wire wrap a loop. Bend it over, bend it back, reposition my pliers. So we have our loop here. Meanwhile, this guy's still hanging out in the wind. And then we're just going to wrap that around. Okay. I'll cut my tail off. And now this looks like a normal link, but we still have this long piece hanging out. And so I'm just going to take my piece and I'm just going to choose a side to wrap him down. Just going to pull that down and then come around my other side, hold that with my thumb, and then wrap just like that. Okay. And I probably should have made a little bit of a cleaner wrap on that side. And then I'm going to come down the other side. So I'm just making like a little cage around my bead to give it a little bit more flashiness, right? A little bit more interest. And you can do this as many times as you want. Now for this bead, because I put so many wraps around the ends, I'm just going to do 2 so it looks like it's wrapped on either side, but you can definitely do 4. I'm going to snip this right here. Hi everybody, thanks for joining. And I'm going to set that aside. The next one, I'm going to cut another length of wire. I'm going to do the exact same thing. This one we're actually going to do, it's going to be the same style, so I'm just going to have my shorter piece and my longer piece. And I always just do a little bend right there. And I'm just going to wrap. Sorry, camera's right in front of me, so it's a little harder to do it live, but I'm just going to wrap this around a couple times, trying to get it a little bit more uniform so we can have a spot to wrap around later. Push that up. There we go. Now I'm going to push my 3 orange pieces onto my shorter wire here. We're going to make another link. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is wire wrap this side. While leaving that longer wire out there. Hold this. And if you have trouble with wire wrapping with just your fingers, sometimes I have really bad carpal tunnel. I have to use my pliers, and that's totally fine if you just need your pliers to wrap that piece instead of using your forefinger and your thumb. I'm going to snip that right there. And then I'm going to take my longer piece, and for the 3 beads, and you can make these links as long as you want, I'm going to wrap around each bead. So I'm going to go like that, and then come back up like that, and then come back up and just wrap a couple times there to secure my wire. And we have a really pretty little triple bead link right here. So I know you're probably thinking, why are you just making links? Now, when you decide to connect your beads, you can either use jump rings, or you could just wire wrap them together. I will end up wire wrapping these together. Hi, Letitia. Yeah, I'm glad you made it too. Okay, so those were the first two that I showed you. Thank you, Monica. And then I am going to show you a little bit of a different type when we get to this one, although you can do the exact same way that we did these once we get to this one. So what I'm going to do is start linking these together, and I'm actually going to go from the other side because I started already with this one. So I'm just going to keep cutting my 22 gauge wire. You're going to probably need quite a bit for this bracelet. It's a little wire heavy. And then we'll get started. I'll try and talk to you guys while I'm doing this if I can focus enough. Okay, so I am just going to keep going. And if you have any questions, if I missed anything, please ask it again so I can see it. Okay, so I'm just going to start here. Do a loop. And on this one, before I close it, I am just going to slip on my little hook for my clasp. Okay. And then I'll just wrap around here just a couple times. And I might redo that rectangle that we did at the beginning because I wanted to show you the technique, but I didn't really get it the way I wanted it, so I can just redo it. And we will move this down a little bit. There we go. I'm going to do one more wrap. Okay, and then I will put my other rectangle on. Susan, they're probably anywhere from 6 to 8 inches, depending on how many wraps you're doing and how big your bead, how long your bead is. And then I'll come here. This one's probably a little bit longer than 8 inches, but I also over measure all the time. That's one of my downfalls, is I always take too much wire, but I would love to have extra left over instead of not having enough. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a snip there. Now I'm going to come up my bead like this and wrap it around once. And then I'm going to come down the other side of the bead and wrap it around once. And I think again, if I had just made a little bit thinner here, we could keep going. I'm going to show you what it would look like if I kept going, but I would probably just stay with 2 wraps here. Again, I'm not going for super clean lines because these are gemstones on the rock. It's a little rough looking, especially with these citrine. So it's okay. It's okay to have a fun, messy wrap. All right. All right. So there we have our little cage on this one. I'm loving it, and I'm just going to snip this right here. You could tuck that in. I'm going to get a different plier to tuck this one in. There we go. So there's our first piece, and it's connected to our clasp. So we made a little cage. Now next I'm going to go ahead and do that little, those 3 beads again. I'm going to hold this. I can straighten that loop in just a moment. All right, and then I'm going to come and put down here and put on my 3 beads. I'm going to do my wire wrap loop at this end. But before I close the loop on this side, I am going to hook it onto our other piece. Like this. Hold this. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera, but the camera's right in front of my beads here. All right, and I'm going to pull that in a little bit. There we go. We want to make sure that this bead is clicked into there instead of outside of that loop, because that wouldn't help. All right, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a wire wrap loop here. And snip. And then we'll just wrap like I showed you before. So I'll come here and I'm going to go this way. Come between this one. Down here. And then we will come up here and wrap again. There we go. And I'll just do a little snip. And we have our cute little wire wrapped connector. And then I'll just keep going. So I think I had enough left on this piece that I can just keep going. I'm going to show you hopefully the other way we can do this. You start with your wire wrap loop. Okay. We're going to take the short piece. And bend around here, bend around the short piece, not the long piece. And then I am going to stack on the 2 citrine onto this one. There we go. I'm going to do that same wire wrap loop here. And I know you guys just noticed that I didn't wire wrap this onto the other one, so I'll have to save this for the other side of the knuckle or bracelet so I can clip it on then. It's okay, we're just making a connector here. So I'm going to come down and I think I'm going to go between, again like we did with the rondelles, come back up, and I'm going to come back down the other side. And wrap here. So we have a cute caged look with this bead. I love just the extra bit of flash with the citrine. And you can do multiple wraps if you'd like, but I'm going to keep it like that. So now I'm going to make sure that I wire wrap it onto this side of the bracelet. What's everybody doing today? What's on your bead table? What did you do for this wonderful weekend? I am actually flying to Cleveland, Ohio tomorrow for work, and I haven't been on a plane in 3 years, and I'm a little nervous. Even though I love flying, I'm a little nervous about it. Okay, so then we'll stack our 2 citrine for this side. Oh, Monica said that she's making stretchy bracelets and watching a bunch of Brittany videos. That's awesome. Thanks, Monica. If you're new to Jesse James Beads or you're not aware, I do have a YouTube channel called Turquoise.Street, and I also have a bead group here on Facebook called Brittany's Beads, and we'd love to have you join, where we share our projects and just talk about beads. Letitia is sorting and organizing. You know, sometimes that's even more fun than making jewelry. I said it. All right, so I'm going to trim my wire here. Ooh, Darlene received a Love is Love design challenge kit. That's exciting. And then Becky still trying to get herself to start on jewelry stuff. Yeah, jewelry is definitely my way to get out of my head and stop thinking about things too, Becky. I'd get that for sure. Whoop. So I'm here. This is kind of, you see how jagged these beads are? It's really hard to get the wire to grab onto there because there's not really a resting place. So while I'm holding it, I'm going to hold this to the bead while I go through and wrap, because I don't want it to slide off. And once it's wrapped, it's got some tension, so it's not going to slide off. Now I'm going to come back down, and let's see, we'll come back down over here. Kind of try and make the wire do what I want, but sometimes it has its own idea. Come through here, come back down. Very organic look today, and then wire wrap to get that secure. Oh, Cindy, I'm sorry you were sick. That is no fun. Okay. Here we go. I'm loving how this looks. I love how organic it is. All right, so next we're going with this oval, and then we'll be almost halfway finished, and we'll slide into the rest of the bracelet. Oh, Darlene's new to jewelry making. Yay! I'm glad you found this community. It's so welcoming and so fun, and everybody just loves beads. We're bead addicts. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna be a little bit different technique. So the other ones I was wire wrapping with this end first, but I'm gonna show you just a slightly different technique here. I'm gonna slide on my oval, put it through. Oh, Elaine's making macrame bracelets. Actually, I want to wire wrap this first before I do that. Too much talking, not enough paying attention. Macrame bracelets are so much fun. So that's wire wrapped. Yeah, Cindy, I'm such a bead addict too. And yeah, Darlene, jewelry making is so empowering because you can do whatever you want. You really can. So instead of just starting with my wire, like doing my loop here, I'm going to come up with my wire. I'm going to hold that down on my oval, and then I'm going to come around that little piece before I wire wrap it. It's just a little bit, it's just slightly different. It's not even that big of a deal that it's that different, but you can do that before you do your loop on this side, and then you can come back down. I'm going to go ahead and do my wire wrap loop on this side, but before I close it, I'll make sure to connect it to my citrine. Allison said it scares her husband that she spends so much on beads. Well, I don't have one of those, so I get to no filter on the bead spending over here, unfortunately. And I'm sorry, it's a little complicated making sure that we get it wrapped while we're attached to the rest of the bracelet, but just take your time, you'll get there. And then I'll snip. Whew. Make sure you snip the right wire. Susan, this one was on the rocks, and we mixed it with Pina Colada to get the citrine. So the citrine's from the Pina Colada, and the rest was old-fashioned. Oh, I said on the rocks, but it's old-fashioned. The name of the collection's on the rocks. It's old-fashioned is this one. And then I have my extra line up here. Cindy said she has to hide some things sometimes. Well, I just conveniently forget when things come into the house, so that's what I do. And then I just come back down and wire wrap around this side. Again, this one's a little bit more organic than I usually do, but I wanted it that way because stones are organic. Now, I'm going to do the same thing on the crystal in the middle, but I'm going to do a little bit of a different look on the front. So we're going to have two strings of wire going on the front of the square crystal, but I'm going to do a little bit of a different look. Wire wrap this guy. Pull it a little bit tighter. There we go. And if you ever see that happens, it's okay. You can just reform it by moving your pliers. And then I'm going to put on my square. I'm going to pull this up like we did with the last one, wrap it around once. Do our wire wrapped loop. Susan said, if your area is messy, it's harder for your husband to tell there's new beads. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to wrap that around. Oh, actually, before I close it, I'm going to hook it onto the other side of my bracelet. Then I'm going to close it. And snip. Make sure you snip the right wire. There we go. And then I'm going to come down the other side and wire wrap a couple times and snip. Now I am going to, like I said, do a slightly different look on this bead than I did on this one. I'm going to take my pliers And you've seen me do this before if I've made a bead into a pendant. And I'm just going to do a little twist just to get a little bit of a different look. Thanks, Stephanie. And then I will do this again. So we have like a little lightning bolt on our pretty bead there. And then we're just going to go and do the other side. I think I have enough wire here. Is anybody signed up for a pool party coming up next month with featuring Jesse James beads and soft flex? I'm super excited for that. Actually, my pool party kit just came as an instructor, and I haven't had a chance to open it because I've been packing for my trip. So I'm hoping to get it open tonight so I can get some ideas. All right. And if I didn't say, this is a nylon jaw plier, and it's great for straightening out wire if it's kinked up. Okay, so I'm going to come through here. Thanks, Deb. Yeah, I'm super excited to look at the kit. I have not had a chance to take a peek at it yet. Ooh, my goodness. Sorry if I'm making any of you seasick today. Allison, you know, it takes some time to learn how to macrame, and I would just say just keep at it, keep taking your time, watch a bunch of videos on it, you'll get it, I promise you. You might want to try taping down your project, or you know what I did? I didn't connect it again to my project. Or you might want to get a macrame board, and that can help you quite a bit. There we go. Yay, Stephanie, glad you'll be there. All right, and then I'm just trying to see, okay, this comes down this way. Elaine says she uses the tying station by Bead. Yeah, don't give up. You'll get it, I promise you, and then it'll be your favorite thing to do, because there's so much you can do with macrame. All right, let's see what's going on here. I'm going to come down this way a little bit more. There we go. All right, we're almost finished with this. Just a couple more. I haven't used the tying station. I think I've seen it before, but I'll have to look into that because it sounds like a lot of people like it. So I'm going to go. Now, all of these I did as experiments to show you how I was doing it. So now they're all wire wrapped and they're not coming on here. What I'm going to do is redo this one and then redo that one, and then we should be good. This tells you if you don't like how your wire looks, just take it off, do it again. Nothing's that permanent unless you've like really glued something on there. So I am going to hook here. Thank you. And then I am going to wire wrap here. It's a little bit of a learning curve to make sure that you wire wrap with the longer one, because normally you want to wire wrap with the shorter wire. There we go. Now, if you, let's say, have started wire wrapping, it's okay to start and then stop and take a break. Sometimes it's kind of hard to continue to wire wrap, as you know, the whole necklace or the whole bracelet all at one time. It's okay to take a break too. All right. Oh. Julie, same here. Liz, have you seen this bracelet? But wonky wire wraps are fun. I like wonky wire wraps. Okay. Hold that. Make sure that I clip onto here. And just remember, you know, when you're watching YouTube videos, those videos are edited. You know, people edit out their mistakes. I try to leave them in a lot on my channel. But if you left in every mistake you made on every single video, it'd be like, at least for me, it'd be like 30 minutes longer than it needs to be. So don't get discouraged if your favorite YouTuber or your favorite designer whips up a necklace in 20 minutes or 5 minutes or however long. That's not real life. You know, we have cameras that start and stop, and we make it so it's easy for you to understand. But sometimes it can take me an hour or two to make a video. So I don't want you to think everybody who designs on the internet gets it right the first time. As we can see, I've had to start and stop with this guy a couple times already. All right, so that's the first half of that one. I love these citrine caged with this wire. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to come back down. And then come back down. All right, we have one more bead to do. Yes, Julie is a fantastic designer. Snip my wire. I'm sorry, I'm gonna check off screen if this is long enough for my wrist. Yep, adding on one more bead will do it. Another piece of wire. And of course my wire disappeared. Oh, I went wire blind, I couldn't see it. All right, here we go. One more bead and we'll be good to go. Oop. Again, almost messed up. We want to go with clipping this on here. And then the last one I'll clip on the other half of my clasp. There we go. Okay, put on this guy. Get that up against the wire coil. and then slip on my clasp. It's a great way if you have a bunch of wire that you don't know what to do and maybe not a lot of findings. You don't have to use a bunch of jump rings. You can just, maybe you have a rainy day, just sit there and wire wrap for a while. And this is a great one to practice with too, because like I said, it's very organic. I'm not trying to do perfect wraps on this one. Didn't even get close, but I wasn't trying, so thankfully. And then I'm going to snip here and do our final cage. Come up the bead, hold it in place. Oh. Come around. Come back down. And then I'm going to do one more, or actually I'm going to do two more. This guy needs to come over a little bit. Come back up. And come back down. There we go. And I am just going to tighten that a little bit and then do a little bit of a snip. And we have our On the Rocks organic looking bracelet. And if you want, you can continue to do this with a necklace or whatever you'd like. But here's the bracelet. Isn't that really pretty? I just feel like this is my favorite part. Those wire wrapped citrines, they just make me so happy. So here's our bracelet. That actually took me 50 minutes. I didn't think it was going to take me that long, but I should have known better because of all the wire wrapping. I think a couple different ways that you can change this. Let's say you're not ready to wire wrap an entire strand of beads. Pick your favorites and showcase them. Yeah, Monica, the desert definitely was my inspiration here, so I'm glad you're seeing that. Thanks, Cindy. So if you're, kind of daunted by doing a whole bracelet like this or a whole necklace, choose your favorites, right? So this would have been my favorite. Make that your focal and then just strand your beads or just wire wrap them normally. Or if you're looking for a new way to create a link to connect your piece, try it out with one piece. Don't try it out with a whole bracelet if you don't want to start off. But I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, Becky, orange might not be your favorite, but I liked how the orange looked. And if you have any questions, you can find me on Turquoise Street, or you can find me on Brittany's Beads. And I want to say thank you to Jessie James Beads for having me back. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Bye, everybody.